My name is Dr. Stephen Elsey, and I'm a chiropractor who specializes in helping people lose weight rapidly and permanently. And this is our second video. Today we're talking specifically about leptin sensitivity. And so if you recall from my first video, what I told you was it's not your fault that you are not slender because you've been following bad advice. And so naturally skinny people told you all about rule number 3, and they never ever spend any time telling you about rule number 1 or rule number 2. So today we're going to talk about rule number 1, and specifically rule number 1. Oh, by the way, the reason I'm such a small little talking head here is so you'll be able to see the board well. Rule number 1, and that is that you have to fix your leptin. Okay? Now I'm going to explain what that means, and if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and I will be happy to send you the free report that I wrote all about rule number 1, rule number 2, and rule number 3. Now you can also request a DVD, and I can send you an entire DVD that explains all of this. You can watch that as many times as you want, trying to get the data that you need to decide if this is a good plan for you. Okay? So just send me an email. I can send all that stuff to you. In the meantime, so we're talking about rule number 1, and we're going to just start here with a picture of your brain. That's not a very good picture of a brain, but there it is. And so inside your brain, there's a small part called the hypothalamus. Now the hypothalamus, if you were to go straight in this way and straight in this way, it's right smack dab in the middle, and it's about the size of an almond. And it controls all of the automatic systems of your body. So for example, this morning when you woke up, you did not have to think about what your body temperature should be. Your hypothalamus has got that handled. You didn't have to think about what your blood pressure should be. Your hypothalamus has that handled. You don't think about every breath and when it has to breathe in and how much to breathe out because your hypothalamus has that handled, okay? Now, the other thing that your hypothalamus is supposed to handle is how much body fat you have stored. Now, you and I both know people. In fact, it's those naturally skinny people, and their hypothalamus works to do this. It keeps their body fat at a pretty constant level. Now, why doesn't that work for us? Well, first I'm going to tell you how it's supposed to work, and then I'm going to tell you how it gets screwed up. On the next video, then I'm going to tell you how to fix that. Okay, so here we go. Now, here is your body fat. Now they discovered in 1994 that your body fat makes a hormone, and that hormone is called leptin. And so what happens is as your body fat makes that hormone goes to your hypothalamus. As your body fat goes up, then your leptin goes up. And when your leptin hits the right level in your brain, then your brain says, you know what? We have stored all of the energy we need. We don't need to store anymore. So, when your body fat goes down, then your leptin goes down. And then your hypothalamus says, we need to store some more energy. And that's the way your body regulates how much body fat you have. It's simple, it's easy, it's supposed to work perfectly. Okay, so, you know, when I was Fat Steve, my Fat Steve picture's over there. Hang on a sec. Sorry about that. When I was Fat Steve, how did I get 150 extra pounds of fat? How did I get 150 extra pounds of fat if this system is working? So the obvious answer is that this system can become incompetent. It can become deranged. It can stop working right. And here's what actually happens. And again, this is all from the research. This isn't just something Dr. Steve made up. This is from reading papers on PubMed. There's over 85,000 papers that have been written on leptin. We have been studying the heck out of leptin now for the last 20 years, trying to figure out what's going on. In fact, when they first discovered leptin, they actually thought that they could create a leptin drug and they could inject it into you, and then, lo and behold, you would naturally become skinny. So they actually created a group of mice, a whole race of mice that were leptin deficient, and when they injected them with leptin, they got skinny. And they said, oh my gosh, we have found the holy grail. We'll give people a shot of leptin, bada boom, bada bing, they'll get skinny, it'll be great. Oh, and besides, they were thinking they were going to make billions of dollars too, right? After they spent over $600 million on this, they found exactly 2 people that it would work with. Everyone else, all of us that are already overweight, already have too much leptin. The problem is not leptin. Our body's making plenty of leptin. We got lots of fat, we make lots of leptin. The problem is here in the hypothalamus. And so what happens is your hypothalamus can actually become insensitive to leptin. So your body fat goes up and your leptin goes up, but your hypothalamus doesn't hear anything. So your body fat goes up and your leptin goes up and your hypothalamus doesn't hear anything. And your body fat goes up and your leptin goes up and your hypothalamus still doesn't hear anything. Now, here's how that happens. There's another hormone that you've heard of that uses the same exact receptor in the hypothalamus. And that hormone's name is insulin. And so if you routinely have lots of insulin spikes and your insulin keeps going up and down over and 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 over, then eventually what happens is that insulin blocks. It actually causes this hypothalamus to become insensitive to leptin. When that happens, then your body just starts getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter because it never ever gets that signal that it has enough energy stored. Okay? So now, in our next video, we're going to talk about how to fix this, because you see, if you don't fix this, then I don't care how many calories you count or how many calories you try not to eat. I don't care how much you exercise. If this mechanism isn't working, then your brain is working against you. You see, this is why you've been having all these issues all these years with all these diets. This is why I could be on 37 diets in 35 years and never ever permanently lose weight. Because as soon as I stopped doing whatever weird diet I was doing, I'd never fixed this, and my brain had absolutely no way of regulating how much body fat I actually had. So the reason this is rule number 1 is because if we don't fix this, I don't care how much you exercise, I don't care how much you diet, I don't care what they tell you. Fix this. This is the first step. Okay? So in the next video, we're actually going to talk about how to fix this, so then you'll know a little bit more about Dr. Elsey's protocol. Now again, if you'd like a DVD explaining all this or a free report, just send me an email. If you have questions, send me an email. I'll be happy to get back to you. I'm happy to send off whatever information you need to be able to make a decision about what you need to do for you. So that's Dr. Elsey signing out. I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.